I've been wanting to make this one for a while for selfish reasons. It's your guide to a front split. I've had a split and I've also lost a split from not training it regularly. So I'm hoping this can be a little tool guide for you. It'll be one of a two-part series. First part is going to be at our hip flexor height with our hammock. Second one will be more of a low flow. Other things that you might want to have are a set of yoga blocks if you have them. I like something to pad my knee and maybe a pair of socks so that you can slide on the floor. This is adaptive to your trapeze. The only modifications I think you might want to have are when we go into our dancer's pose, you can use your handles, and when we're in our standing split, you may not be able to travel all the way up the panel of your swing. Other than that, you shouldn't really notice a difference. So get your hammocks and your trapeze set, and let's begin our journey to our front splits. We begin with a lunge, one of many. You're right underneath your plumb line, sinking down to catch your shoulders, and step your right foot back. Just taking a little bit of time to open your hip flexors to start. And I'm thinking of this very cat-cow-like. I'm gonna arch the spine and really press through that back leg. And then do a little tuck and point the knee to the floor. So I'm just gonna go back and forth between those two movements. Just kind of seeing what's going on in there. And then holding where you feel a nice deep stretch. And walking back. The left leg comes under. And we're just exploring for this first lunge. Pressing forward and back. Do little twisties, kind of side to side. Find a place to hold. Walking back. Bring your swing up and over. Pyramid, right foot back, left foot forward. Hold the fabric in whatever way feels good to you. You can certainly wrist wrap if you want. Make sure your hips are nice and square. Extend the heart forward. Keep scissoring the inner thighs together. Once you're here, take a breath in, and on the exhale, round up. Think cat back, and then inhale. You come forward, think cow pose, right? So tailbone lifts, and then initiate the fold. Your goal is this left hamstring, up and forward. Once more, rolling up. And this one you can hold. Arms can stay extended if that feels good. You can also bend the elbows and maybe sink a little deeper. Keep scissoring the inner thighs together. Come up just a little. I want you to bend your back knee just a little so that you can lift this front heel. And then see if you can go deeper forward. Keep trying to pull the toes towards you. At any time you want to straighten the back leg. Once you're here, you can. And up. Whew, I feel like we got right to business. Left foot back. Think of that squaring first. Then when you're ready, coming forward, nice and slow. Come to your edge, breathe in, exhale, curl the tailbone, unwind the spine, coming up. Inhale forward, exhale, curl. Twice more, nice and slow. This one has the hold, arms extended, find the depth. And if the elbows want to bend, and sink a little deeper. Give it a try. Little lift and lift that front foot, right? I'm gonna bend into the left, but eventually I'm gonna straighten it. Keep pulling those toes towards you. Roll your way up. Whew. Take a breath. Shake those hands out. All right. Back into the right side. First thing we'll do is behind the knee. You're underneath your plumb line. Adding a twist since we've not done any. Rotate to the right. Just pull on the fabric with your left hand. Shoulders relaxed, heart is open. And down. From here, lift the heel. Come into your lunge. I'm gonna keep lifting my heart to the ceiling, pressing the pelvis forward, trying to keep square. Really sinking into that left side. And if you like, what I like here is right arm into imaginary back pocket. So I'm gonna gently push my pelvis forward. Coming up and moving to the ankle. Look down, make sure you're nice and square. You can start with a pointed foot. Inner thighs pulling together. See how far forward you can go, which may feel humbling. I'm there with you. Once you're there, start a little point and flex. Point and flex. Feeling the whole backside stretch as you flex. Eventually hold with a flexed foot. Keep sending your body weight forward. And if you feel balanced, reach back with your right hand, adding a little more twist. And up. Whew. Find your arch. Make sure your heel's exposed. One more lunge, just for good measures. Make sure your heel stays nice and close for this one. Just lift your heart to the ceiling, press the pelvis forward. One more. Nice stretch in that hip flexor region. Coming back. The left shin is gonna tuck through, which means the right foot can come free. For this one, it should feel very much like you're wearing your backpack, and you can play with the angle that you want. So back foot is flexed, so you can hold the fabric. I can do a little push back, kind of arching the spine, drawing the knee to the floor, or I can do a slight pelvic tilt and really get down the front of this left quad. So just move back and forth between the two, see what feels good. While I have you here, we can explore some dancers' variations. Both are challenging in different ways. Hands will come to the inside so that you can reach back and grab. So my thumbs are on the inside as my elbows bend. You're right underneath your plumb line. Kick into the fabric and pull it with your hands, giving a little lift. Focus on balance. Come back underneath the plumb line, nice and slow. Keep your hands holding. Second variation, kind of deep. You can watch first, as always. I'm gonna send my weight back by bending into this right knee and then straightening it. That already might be enough. If you want, you can begin to kick the foot into the fabric. I tend to move my arms a bit here, up or down, finding a good spot. But I'm going to kick into the fabric and see how far my body wants to go. Rolling up. Take a breath. Find your way down into a three-legged dog. So as the hands touch down, right foot kicks back. If your hammies are tight, this is your pose, sinking into that heel. If you have more to go, the hands will begin to slowly walk back to the foot. This will feel very much like a standing split. If you are close to the leg, I like to hold on to the leg with the same hand behind the calf to pull myself in closer. And if you took that walk, you'll need to come forward for that little downward dog. Releasing the foot and rolling up. Oof. Don't stop now because you're going to be really crooked. We got to take it to our second side. Right down, left goes in from here. First thing we did was a little twist. So you're nice and parallel. Hold with your right, twist to the left. And continue holding, lift that right heel and migrate to the front of that mat. I really want to keep it square, glutes engaged, heart to ceiling. I'm going back pocket. Left hands right in my back pocket, pushing the pelvis forward. And up to the ankle. Try to square off first. Start with the point. Come forward to whatever degree your body is willing to go. Still scissoring the inner thighs together. Then once you're there, start your little floss. Point and flex. Flex and hold. See if you can drift any further forward. It's your edge. Open to your twist. Left arm reaches back. And up. OMG. Coming to your arch, heels exposed for this one, holding onto that fabric. You come forward. Keep the heel right at your glute. Just keep pressing the pelvis. Little lift to the ceiling as you pull down into your fabric. And up. Right shin comes through. Left foot comes down. Think backpack, come right to your shoulders. Find your happy place here. So there's a little flex of that foot just to keep the fabric. Do a little tuck and a little scoop. The whole thing is rather uncomfortable for me because my quads are the tightest versus my hammies. Finding a spot to just be. And both of these are challenging in their own ways. Arms to the inside, thumbs reach back, so the thumbs are on the inside. You're right underneath the plumb line. Kick, right? Kick into your fabric. Lean the heart forward. Really pull on that fabric to help you. Kick into the fabric to help you. And up. Whew. The arms do move around a bit when I go into that extension. Bend your left knee, push back. See how that feels. Once you're there, you can continue to push. It's more of the foot pushing into the fabric to give you that drop. And up and down. Three-legged, left kicks back. Just holding here with a straight leg is a lot for that hamstring. Some of you taking your walk. Back, 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 back. I'm gonna take the left hand to the back of the leg to pull myself in. Begin to walk forward. And as you do, you can just slide that right foot out, coming onto your feet. So that was one variation of a standing split. There's one more we can do from the fabric, and it's very much like a downward dog setup. First time around, as always, take a peek first. You're right underneath your plumb line, and I will do the side closest to you. Right side is going to come around, foot flexes, and then you thread it up the fabric. This left leg that's floating comes to the floor. So I need to do a little tuck to get there. Now, if you're very tight, this alone may be enough. If you're more open, I'm going to suggest doing that same thing. Using your left hand on the back of the left leg to pull yourself in. Nice and slow from here. Just come back to your plumb line. I always feel a little pinchy or a little crooked here, so if you just want to take a moment to either swing, come in and come out. I like a little pop just because I'm weird. Back to center. We got to do the other side or else we're going to be crooked. Can't have that. Right foot tucks to the floor and in. Right, so if you can, you may just be pushing the ground away. I'm going to go to the back of the leg. Nice and slow, you can just unravel that foot, find your way up. Inhale, arms up overhead with fabric. Just take a quick little arch just because it feels good. Let your body just digest what we've done so far. Sitting up, down to the knees, and on to the floor. Okay, so we've targeted our quads, we've targeted our hip flexors, our hamstrings. Now's our time to work on those splits. So one of the important things, I think, is to document your progress, because sometimes it feels like we're not getting very far at all, especially if those splits are a long ways away. So what I recommend doing is when we test our splits, record them, do both sides, and take a screenshot at the depth of your pose. So this way you can just track your progress. This is rather sticky for me, so I'm going to remove my mat, maybe just get something to cushion the knee. Yoga blocks if you have them, and let's take a look at these front splits. Miss Lacey has my blanket, so I have hers. It might be easier, depending on your flooring, to do this in socks so that you can slide more effectively. I'm probably just going to use my knee on the blanket to slide. Depending on how you enter your split, might determine if you get a little deeper, depending on whether you're quad or hamstring dominant. So we'll go in twice. You might notice a difference, you might not. Start with your right foot forward. The first entrance is to keep yourself connected to your front leg as close as possible. Now, if you have a sock on, you can slide forward. For those of you who didn't plan effectively, like me, you will be sliding back on your blanket. You go as far forward as you can go, and then you stop. So think of keeping yourself connected the whole time, and then hands on floor or blocks. Breathe in, flex your foot, lift, exhale, point. Twice more. Flex, exhale, point. One more, and down. See how this feels. Keep pulling your right hip back and your left hip forward. Think of lifting the upper body and either dropping to the side or pushing back. Nice and slow. If you've not been there in a while or ever, you're feeling that. My apologies. But it's a good goal. So, second side, you will notice one side is more flexy than the other. When I was training my splits initially, I got down on the left leg front much quicker than I did the right. And it was quite exciting. I wish I had the look on my face when I felt my leg touch the ground. So you will either push forward, or if you are me, you will push back. Hands on floor, hands on blocks. Flex, breathe in, exhale, point it down. Again, up, exhale. Last time, and down. Take a second to try to hold. Drive your right hip back, your left hip forward. And you can slowly drop to the side. I will say this quickly, in a dance routine, if you needed to, you can fake a split by turning your foot out. I am not in a split. It is very much looking like a split, but with this turnout, you don't need a full split. So, I think a lot of work in the air is all smoke and mirrors. It's all the angle at which we see them, which is fine with me. They look beautiful regardless. We're gonna go in one more time this way. We're gonna go in from a different angle. Notice if you feel a difference. You may not. So much like a half split, Ardha Hamanasana, and then dragging that heel on the floor, or if you're me, letting that back leg push on the floor to come down. Same thing, you're gonna push into the floor or the blocks for the flex, and then the point. Breathe in, breathe out. Last time. Take a moment to hold. Think of, if you're not close, but you might need to push into those blocks and it will help you get a little more lift. And up. Whew, pull the thighs together. Do you see why I selfishly wanted to create this one? To force me to do it? You start from your half split. So this back leg is lengthened and engaged, and then you slide. Try to square off to the best of your ability. Push, breathe in, exhale, and again. Last time. Holding here. Yeah. I need to really focus on driving that left hip back, right hip forward, really engaging the upper body. Again, eventually we work towards this. Dropping your hips to the side and coming around. Whew. So that was your first of 2 variations of our front split training. I'll follow this up in a month or 2 with a low flow with similar poses to help train your splits so that you have variety. I can't imagine you didn't feel that one, but thank you for working with me. Of course, subscribe if you enjoyed this and you haven't yet. And until I work with you again, Namaste.